The Department of Land and Natural Resources is responsible for the management and regulatory oversight of approximately 750 miles of general coastline. While Hawaii is 43rd in terms of overall land area, it is ranked as having the 4th longest general coast of all the states.
It's probably 12 to 15 feet. The debris line back there is probably 12 to 15 feet Malca of the edge of the vegetation here.
DLNR's Office of Conservation and Coastal Lands is responsible for maintaining lateral shoreline access for everyone, since Hawaii's shorelines and beaches are public.
We already are in an area that has limited shore perpendicular access, which makes lateral shoreline access much more important. And that's, the issue that we came out here today to discuss was the issue of shoreline vegetation interfering with lateral public access to the shoreline.
Andy Bolander is a shoreline specialist with the University of Hawaii Sea Grant Program, working for the Office of Conservation and Coastal Lands, or OCCL.
What we're trying to do is to ensure that the public has as much access as possible to the limited beach resource that is here. And what you can see here, the property line for this property is likely along the fence here, possibly a little bit mackay of that. And all of this naupaka that's been planted in here and all these heliotropes have just, because this is
this is a heliotrope here?
Yeah, that's a heliotrope and this is naupaka. Those are kind of the two main culprits,
Right.
The ones that are most commonly used.
Bolander has spent countless hours walking up and down East Oahu beaches stretching from Portlock to Cromwells. This area, which also includes Paiko, Niu, Wailupe, and Kahala beachfronts, is one of the areas most subject to complaints about vegetation encroaching onto the public shoreline.
So as you can see here, we have this nice debris line. You could probably see it on the video in white. This nice debris line is going to be the overwash. So we have a scarp in the front here. The waves come up probably on a higher tide or high swell event. They overtop the erosion scarp. And this light material, this limu is very light, low density material. It's going to float on top. So it's going to be the very last signature that gets left behind from the wash of the waves. So this limu line here that's washed up to this CRM wall is going to be indicative of our natural shoreline. As you can see, this natural shoreline, and we're on a linear beach here, so you would expect most of the shoreline to be fairly linear as well. This naupaka hedge is about 20 feet seaward of that natural shoreline.
It is the responsibility of abutting landowners to maintain structures or vegetation to ensure public access and enjoyment of beach areas. If you're lucky enough to own beachfront property in Hawaii, it is your kuleana to keep vegetation and other obstructions from flowing onto the public beach.
In this case, we have a coconut tree here, a palm tree, that's hanging down over the shoreline. The administrative burden of implementing HRS 115-5 is very important to consider because it's a statewide law. So we have 750 miles of shoreline in Hawaii. So to try to go and identify all the potential vegetation issues in Hawaii and address them all the burden of that is, from an administrative perspective, is very high. However, doing a community-wide survey is a very effective tool because we have all of the landowners getting the letters, the notices requesting their compliance at around the same time.
Okay, next one.
After reviewing Bolander's notes and photographs with OCCL Administrator Sam Limo and his team of planners, 100 letters were recently sent to coastal property owners from Portlock to Cromwells. Letters instruct property owners to cut back vegetation. They have 21 days to respond and show compliance. That can be as simple as providing before and after photographs showing vegetation removal. Back out on the beach, Bolander shows two examples. First, an area that needs work.
This is another great example of a property that actually has, it does have some vegetation issues. You can see these little naupaka islands, if you will, that are fronting the property here. We will ask them to remove those, but the remainder of the property is currently absent of vegetation. As you can see, there probably used to be a hedge here. You can see these exposed roots. For whatever reason, the landowner chose to remove that hedge.
In the second location, Bolander shows a major removal project, which was necessary for a developer to achieve a shoreline certification.
This property consists of two adjacent parcels, so it's a rather large property. We discovered this issue through the shoreline certification process. We came out for a site inspection for the purposes of identifying the certified shoreline, which establishes the baseline for measuring the shoreline setbacks for the property. As you can see, by removing this vegetation, we've essentially restored approximately 15 feet of beach width along this entire shoreline. And now that area is usable and accessible to the public. We consider this to be a success.
The staff of OCCL is committed to protecting Hawaii's beaches.
So all of this howbush that you see along the shoreline here, it's actually not even on the private property owner's property. This is all on state unencumbered land. It's all on what would naturally be state beach.
For more information, please contact the DLNR Office of Conservation and Coastal Lands at 808-587-0377 or visit www.dlnr.hawaii.gov/OCCL.